What's up, guys? Tilna from Melbourne. Tilna and Ashan are both here today, and we are going to be talking about a topic which I actually posted this morning, which is actually about fat loss mistakes people make in their fat loss journey, which is actually preventing them from going through a fat loss. You might be stuck at a certain place. You might feel like going out of track today, and because of these three reasons, just check whether you are doing these three reasons. Hope this actually give you value today, and if it does, like share it on your stories and tagging us on Instagram or Facebook. But just want to let you know, like, one thing before I deep dive into this topic, and Ashan will actually talk about certain things about this topic as well, from his experience about past mistakes he have done, like I have done as well. So, fat loss, in order for fat loss to go ahead, calorie deficit is the answer. True. But it must be applied based on your circumstances. Let that sink in for a bit, and hope you understand what I'm talking about. So, the three reason as we have actually come across with regards to your fat loss journey being plateaued or like prevented is like the number one reason I have come across is the fact that, like, we have actually spoken about it before, and Ashan will actually speak about it as well. So it's actually about underestimating calories. Ashan, like, we have experienced this, and we have actually done it ourselves as well. Like, especially when the preps are done in the past, we underestimate the calories we consume. Sometimes the number is not the number we actually end up actually consuming. So
Yes.
underestimating calories is number one. So probably like the examples I can come across would be the fact that, like, people think like they're at like 1200 calories and they might be confused not losing weight. But when you actually count everything you have during the day, number might be double exactly, because you might be ignoring the nuts you consume because it's a little bit. You might be consume forgetting the oil you consume, or the sauces you use, or anything, like, because these things, if you are not calculating as calories, that's gonna add up. And that's and also not forgetting the sugary drinks you are having, and all of those things will actually add up. So this is number one mistake people actually make in their fat loss journey. So they think they're on a calorie deficit by just counting certain things, which you think is protein, but certain things which they avoid. So when this process happens, like, you will definitely not be on a deficit. You will be on a surplus or either maintenance, right? Asha, do you have anything to add with regards to your experience? Like, because this is something you have done yourself as well, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest misconception is, instead of counting calories, they go by the foods. They say that, this food is low in calories, and if you have this type of food, it's healthy and you can lose fat through that, right? But the problem is now, as you said, the example you brought in was nuts, right? It has a lot of healthy fats, right? But the problem is it's high in calories, right? So then, just because it has healthy components in it, doesn't mean that you can consume any amount, right? So during my prep, even when I'm not on prep, right, still, if it's 30 grams of nuts, it doesn't mean that if I eat 80, that it's going to be better, right?
Yeah.
It's more calories at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The food, the type of food might be nutritionally dense, but the numbers, needs to be met. Otherwise, just because it is healthy, you can't just go overboard with it, right? Because then
Yes.
at the end of the day, as you said, you think that you have had 1,500, but you have ended up, having more than 2,500. So that has happened easily. So if you're not dialed in with the numbers, these things can happen. And also liquid calories, right? Most people think that, okay, if I go for a drink, or maybe a fruit smoothie or something, that it's going to be fine. They think that it's 0 calories. Well, it is good for your health, but it is not 0 calories. It's going
Yes.
to add 200, 250 calories into your meal plan. So
Yes.
um, yeah, detailing is important.
Yes, so that's where we actually always, like, we go to this transitional phase with our clients who stay long term, is the fact that we teach them how to count calories by themselves. So when you learn
Yeah.
this thing, what happens is you will actually be able to, like, sustain your fat loss. So always remember, like, fast results doesn't matter if it isn't sustainable. Slow results will give you sustainable results. Like, it'll actually make you stay transformed long term. So number two, speaking of that, this is actually something I can't say I have done, but like Ashan has done it.
Yeah.
Is the fact that like calories are way too low. So when you are like let's say like you're supposed to be on like you're 100 kilos and you need to be around, like, in order for your fat loss to like yeah, so let's say it like this. So most people want fast results, so that's why like our rapid transformation program is very popular. But the reason being, like, fast transformation ain't sustainable, because when you are being on a too low calorie deficit, you are only going to be suffering during the process, and you're not going to like it. That's the simple way of saying it. And you are not going to like it. You will come to a point where you hit a breakdown. You will actually go back to your old roots, because you don't fix your habits and rituals on a very low calorie deficit. Because unless you are a competitor, if you are a lifestyle person, like, who wants to have overall better health, just understand, being staying very restricted ain't going to be the option, because that's only going to let the scale move, and you will see results for a certain period of time, and then it'll slow down. When that happens, you will feel your mindset will be negative, and you will get more hungrier. And when this happens, you go out of track. So this is where, like, as us competitors, when the prep is finished, most of the time, like, we are advised to do reverse dieting phase in order to avoid damages later on. Because sometimes, like, I have seen I have seen this example, like, where people actually go to the stage in a perfect shape, and like few months later they are like totally the opposite of it. This happens when you do not do reverse dieting. So this happens when you do not when you go through a restriction and you don't enjoy the process, and you suffer and suffer, and at the end of the day you go back to your old roots when the competition is
Yeah.
done. So this, I did it, Ashan did it, and we actually did it for like couple of weeks. We were going out of track, but when we actually were going out of track, we realized it and we pushed it back.
Yeah.
But for us, that's possible because we are competitors. But for a general public, it's not, because they don't know
Yeah.
where to do, what to do, and what is calorie deficit, and they don't actually know. So this is where I actually recommend this equation for you. So let's say you're 100 kilos and you want to be 80. Your long-term goal is 80, like you have a lot to lose. Take that weight in pounds and multiply it by 12 and start there. Like, start on a moderately calorie deficit instead of starting on a low calorie deficit. So when you do that, you will lose like 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 pounds a day, a week, sometimes a day, some cases. But is it sustainable? No. Ashan, like, you're a person who did a lot of restrictions early days
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
actually started coaching with me. One of the things you did was like, I'm not saying fasting is like bad, but
Yeah.
did it fix your
But the way
lifestyle?
I did it is bad. That is
Yes,
what
the
happens,
way
really.
you did it is like
So
really, really bad. So tell us about your
yeah.
experience, Ashan.
Yeah, I think back in the day, this was somewhere around 2016 and 17. I really thought that eating less amount of food is the way to go, right? So
Yeah.
what I did was I fasted for 16 hours, and even during my eating window, I only had like 1,200 calories, right? That's what I did. So initially, I lost a lot of weight, and I was happy about it. But my only problem was uh, I mean, sustaining my life on a day-to-day basis was really hard because
Yes.
I couldn't focus on my work. Every time when I wake up in the morning, I felt extremely low in energy, right? Because back in the day, I used to work as well, so everything was back to back when during that time. So I remember falling asleep halfway through while I was working, and once my work was done, I had to go to the gym, and it was impossible for me to push myself. So I was wondering, how hard is it to get in shape? Whereas all the others, still they work hard, but they're doing it in a very sustainable way. But for me, it was very hard, and every time the only thing I was thinking about was food and food. When am I going to eat this? When am I going to get what I want? So this is the problem, when you restrict calories a lot, right? Because see, if your maintenance is somewhere around 2,500, you only need to have like 1,000. You only need to have like 2,200 or maybe 2,000, and that is enough. But what I did was I brought it down to 1,200, which is totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
And after a while, I felt I felt that my body was going into a survival mode, right? My body was just trying to survive the day. So I wasn't losing any more weight, and I was just getting weaker and weaker. So what happens next? I mean, since it was me, since I was determined, and I think at the right time I came across your coaching. So since that happened, I kept on going. But 99% of the people, they're just dropping everything off at this point, saying that it is impossible, right? And then what happens is they start eating. Within few days, they're gaining all the weight back, right? So I think it should the weight loss process, the fat loss process, should be a healthier one. It shouldn't break you down. It shouldn't make you weaker, right?
Yes.
Again, there is a difference between contest prep and a normal person, wanting to get into shape. So the
Yes.
second category I mentioned, it should be sustainable and it should be long term, right? So if
Yes.
you're not healthy in the long run, there is no point losing the weight you're losing, the
Yeah.
way you do it. So that's what I experienced. And after I started coaching, I started seeing a lot of people just like me,
Yes.
reducing calories. Some people, they only have one meal per day, right? Whereas when this happens, your fitness is not the only thing you do, right? You have a
Yes.
job to do, you have kids to take care of, you have things to do at your house. So you need to have energy to do everything, because if
Yes.
all the others fail, there is no point succeeding in this, right?
Yes. Exactly.
So a lot of things happen. We only see one side, but once I started coaching, I saw a lot of things going on,
Yeah.
this way. So your process should be healthy, even though it takes time. It should be a healthy approach.
Yes. Slow results will be sustainable. Like I'm
Yeah,
not saying
that's what.
like it's gonna be like really slow, but like something like somewhere you can manage is actually sustainable. So when you, like Ashan said, if you're at 2500 maintenance, drop it to 2000 or 2200, like that's still a deficit
Yeah,
that'll work for a certain period. And if it doesn't, like drop it a little bit, don't go like extreme. That's gonna like hurt you in the long run. So short term results will sabotage long term progress you're going to make in your life. Just like us, like for us, we live by this. Like we want
yeah,
ourselves to be
yes,
in shape because we want to represent the country and bring medals to the country. That's our goal as competitors. But and also we want to change lives, help people become their best version. But it does not apply for a general public, like doing the same thing which we do. Like that's one of the mistakes I did myself back in the day as well. Like I used to follow like programs on online, and those were not sustainable. I actually gave up at one point and went back to my old lifestyle. But yeah, but I actually managed to push that back again later on. So anyway, so the third one, like I want to drop it down, is the fact that not getting enough sleep and not controlling your stress. So this is a part like many people ignore, like especially let's say like uni students who are working overnight and doing a lot of things. We have clients who actually do this process, but there's no way out of it for them. But this is where you must focus on the quality sleep you're supposed to get. Yes, you might, it might work for a certain period of time. I myself did it for like about 2 years, where I was actually sleeping overnight, like doing my prep, sleeping during the day. But that wasn't something sustainable. You can't do it for the rest of your life because you need to live your life at one point. So, one of the things you must understand is like sleep is a very important factor in a fat loss journey, because when you do not sleep, when you are stressed out, what happens is it's going to stress you out, first of all. And then it'll actually boost your hunger hormone ghrelin. And when that happens, you will start giving up little by little. Maybe willpower will push you up, push you to a certain extent in your 20s, maybe early 20s, late 20s for some, maybe like for me, late 20s, I was pushing myself still to get it done. But that's me, but it might not apply to someone else. Like people who used to work really hard, like this in their 20s, usually struggle in their 30s. One of the things I'm experiencing as well, like as a coach, I see this a lot, like people who complain like the fact that like they used to be really fit back in the day in their 20s, but they're not fit right now. So one of the reasons like this has happened for them is like they haven't slept well, they haven't managed stress, they've been like working and working. and that it came to a point where your body actually kind of gave up. And just letting you know, just understand, like I said at the start, the most important factor in a fat loss journey is to make sure you sustain it. So when this sleep doesn't go as planned, when you are stressed out, when you're not controlling these things, what happens is, you will have one cheat day, and that cheat day will turn into two, and it'll go to a three and four, and it'll
Exactly.
go to a whole week. And when this happens, you will complain to your coach that I'm like following everything, but I'm not getting results. Did you sleep well? Probably not. And I got hungry and I ate. So that's what happens. So this is like what I wanted to put out, like out there, like give you, make you understand, like the post I posted today this morning. Always understand, like sleep recovery is very important, vital factor in your fat loss journey. So like I said at the start, calorie deficit is the answer, but it must be used, applied based on your circumstance. Right, Ashan? Like, do you have anything to add with regards to that?
Yeah, just one thing which you mentioned about cheat meals, right? Uh, Whoever is 100% can go for a cheat meal, but whoever is
Yes.
not 100%,
Yeah.
you will not enjoy the benefits of having a cheat meal. That is what.
Yes.
Let's say that you're on a diet, right? You're 100% for 14 days. On the 15th day, yes, you can definitely go for a cheat meal, and then nothing will happen. Your scale will not change, right? Your mood will be up, and the other day you can actually get back to your training routine, right? But let's say within these 14 days, right, if you have broken your meal plan 5 6 times, okay, then you're not going to progress, or you're not going to get the benefits of the entire program, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
if you're 100%, you can enjoy your cheat meals time to time
Yes,
with no
exactly.
harm.
Yes, no harm whatsoever. So just making you realize that. So let me tell you, like, the three reasons why you don't actually like make progress in your fat loss journey again. So we actually spoke about three topics. Number one, in a fat loss journey, if you are like making this mistake, like you're underestimating the calories like you're consuming, and number two would be your calories being way too low, and number three will be like sleep. If you don't sleep well and if you're stressed out all the time, there's a higher chance you'll get hungry and you will have a cheat day, not a meal, and it'll become two, three, four. So that's it for today. Hope you guys got value out of this live, and yeah, so that's about it. Like, any that's about it, and hope I'll talk to you guys soon. And we'll be coming live on a regular basis. And before we actually lose power in Ashan's area, we wanted to do it like rush it off and get it done, right, Ashan? So
Yeah.
how's that situation going on? Like, everything going great? Or because and
um,
finally, want to like let you know, like, these ICN Sri Lankan guys like are pushing forward like with so much of restrictions, because they want to bring like Doro to the country next month, because we are 4 weeks out of the competition, and we are hoping to bring the best, and we have like some bloody good athletes who are actually hustling, because not a single person said this is too expensive, this is hard, and I want to give up. In it might have happened like few years ago, but this team does not know the meaning of quitting. So just want to put it out there, and that's about it, guys. So have a nice day. I'll talk to you guys soon.
yes, I'll see you
Yeah,
soon.
see you. Bye.